Welcome, everybody. It's just your girl, Delores, just a pink girl in my pink world, and my good brother, J News. Happy New Year. This is the first time you getting to see us after the new year. Hope you all had some fun, did some resolutions. We had some fire wrestling going on, which we're going to talk about in a minute. But, J News, do you got anything to say to the good brothers and sisters out there?
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. And as I desire your good brother Jay News, me and Dolores are back at it again here. Hit the Ropes podcast every Sunday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I would like to say that it's been one hell of a weekend for those of us wrestling fans who dabble in to the new Japan pro wrestling side of things. When we get to the shows, you're probably going to hear my tone changed quite a bit. But I want to say it's been quite the week in pro wrestling, and we should get things underway.
Ladies and gentlemen, I know it looked like it was. I was clicking that little unmute button. It was me and the unmute button fighting into 2025. Ladies and gentlemen, we're here and it's time. It's time. It's time to hit the ropes podcast. It's time for the review. Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna start off with something you will see me preview tomorrow. For tomorrow, and also make sure you're here for on my channel. We're going to be talking about WWE's Monday Night Raw, ladies and gentlemen. Monday Night Raw was 1649 on the 30th. It was the last Raw on cable. Starting tomorrow, if you all have Netflix, make sure you come on and party with me tomorrow because we'll be watching the first episode of WWE Raw on Netflix. Ladies and gentlemen, as you see, these are the matches that happened on their show. Chad Gable, who was accompanied by Brutus Creed, Ivy Nile, Julius Creed, defeated Otis, who was accompanied by Akira Tozawa and Maxine Dupree. We had a WWE Women's Intercontinental Title Tournament semifinal match, which was Dakota Kai defeating Zoe Stark. Damian Priest and the Roar Raiders of Eric and Ivar defeated the Judgment Day of Dominic Mysterio, Finn Balor, and JD McDonough, aka Big Head, with Carlito in their corner. The WWE Women's Intercontinental Title semifinal match, Laura Valkyria defeated Io Sky. J News, did you watch this and do you have any opinions on it?
Uh, First things first, why have the Chad Gable versus Otis match on Raw is beyond me. They've been building this up for months, and to let it kind of wither away on Raw was just something that I I don't agree with. I ain't down with that. So I'll say that about that there. Dakota Kai defeating Zoe Stark, should I say? Uh, decent enough match. I think that headlining Dakota Kai a bit in the women's division is a good enough change. She's not a newer face, but she's definitely somebody that folks need to keep an eye on. The War Raiders, Damian Priest, and Judgment Day stuff has been going on forever. I'm just not interested in that stuff anymore. And big time shout out to Lyra Valkyria for beating Io Sky in this particular match. So some of the newer generation ladies in the WWE getting a shot at the the newfound Women's Intercontinental Championship. I think what happened with Raw this week was that the entire show, wrestling involved, was overshadowed by the promo battle between CM Punk and one Seth freaking Rollins. I took the 11 minutes out of my Monday night to watch the full promo vid that was posted up onto WWE's YouTube channel. And to say that they did a hell of a job to promote Raw coming to Netflix and them maybe getting the main event spot for the inaugural episode of Raw on Netflix was something that was very well done by the both of them. I know people like to compare and contrast who who outdid who in this battle. Oh, CM Punk, he fried Seth Rollins. Nah, Seth Rollins did this. They both did their jobs at the end of the day.
I think they both did their jobs, but at a certain point, as a CM Punk fan, it was like Seth said all the things that I have been hearing people say, and finally Punk got us a chance to say, listen, I am who you all wanted to be, who you looked up to, who you wanted to be. And just because I didn't do it the way you wanted me to is a problem. He's like, hey, I had a right to just not speak to y'all. Like, listen, sometimes you leave your job and you don't speak to your coworkers. I speak to you every day. Yes, doesn't mean when I leave here I'm gonna come by just to say hey to you. No. I'm not gonna pick up the phone when you call. You know why? I got fired and I don't want to be here no more. And
Yeah, man.
so
I
that
thought it
was
was.
understandable because, like, that was really. And then he's like, "Well, you took your ball and went home." And he was like, "Well, what about your wife? What would you call that?"
I think it was all well done, and thankfully it didn't get, at least in my opinion, it didn't get too personal and things of that nature. So, they spoke about things that were readily available out there, and CM Punk finally got a chance to basically defend himself and his actions in a sense, which was cool. I thought they sold the match, and hopefully it brings in the viewership that they want to bring in for Raw on Monday. But I'm not in the contingent that thinks that one one particular wrestler outdid the other.
Yeah,
Um, I
I
just
don't think one went out of the other way. It just was more like I think even for them, they went to a place where you could hear on the microphone
yeah
they delivered their lines, and even Seth be like, "Hey, whoa!" And then CM Punk like, "Whoa!" Like to a point where it was personal, and it if you did not know wrestling in depth, you couldn't tell if they were like, "Okay, I seriously hate you as a person,"
yeah
or this is just all a dog and pony show.
yeah they were impassioned about it, and I can appreciate that about the both of them, um, because that's what their product calls for.
Yeah,
That's how I'm gonna say it. That's what their product calls for, and they're good at what their product projects to their fan base at the end of the day. So they
yeah,
did an excellent job doing what the WWE does best. So hats off
yeah.
to those two.
Yes, and ladies and gentlemen, if I did not tell you, let me go back to the studio. Hi. I didn't probably introduce ourselves to the people who are newer to us. Um, I'm on my personal Facebook, but we're both live, open on J News and my YouTube. We're on my Twitch and we're on my TikTok. So, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you come on over. If you ain't been over to YouTube, we'll talk about and also show our QR codes at the end. If you're over on what we call the Clock app, make sure you show us some love, give us some hearts. If you got any questions, I am looking over to make sure your questions come through. Everybody else's automatically comes to us. So make sure we go over all the wrestlings from indies to major league wrestling shows you can find readily on now your social medias because as we just talked about, WWE is going to Raw as of tomorrow, and HBO has AEW. So back to the review of the reviews of the reviews, ladies and gentlemen. Get me a J News out of there. We're gonna go on to the next WWE product. It was NXT, ladies and gentlemen, and NXT, as you see, it was NXT 766 on the 31st. Kalani Jordan defeated Lola Vice. Ethan Page defeated Cedric Alexander. We had a triple threat tag team match. Metaphor of Jakar Jackson and Lash Legend defeated Gigi Dolan and Shotzi, and Katana Chance and Kaden Carter. Izzy Dane defeated Sol Ruka. Uh, Tyreek. I can never pronounce his last name, J News.
It's I think it's a Gouwe.
A good way.
Mhm.
See, that's why we got J News. If you all are new to J News speaks everything. Tyson DuPont and Wesley defeated Andre Chase. Hank and Tank, which consists of Hank Waller and Tank Ledger. J News, did you see any of this? And
I
what did you
actually, the only thing that I picked up out of NXT this week, what was going on with Kalani Jordan and Lola Vice. So it seems like they're intermingling a lot of the girls in what is their mid card division. It was actually a pretty decent match. Kalani Jordan winning over Lola Vice. Lola Vice, even though Kalani got in her face after the match was over, uh, ended up, or somebody came down to interfere in the match after the match was over. Yeah. Cora Jade came down with her whooping stick, as I like to call it, and she came down and started swinging on Kalani Jordan and Lola Vice. Um, and then comes down Stephanie Vaquer. Stephanie came down to help out with Lola Vice and Kalani Jordan, but it ended up being that when Lola went to go swing for Cora Jade at one point, she ended up hitting and knocking down uh, Stephanie Vaquer. So, with that being said, it seems that we'll be having a one-on-one match between Stephanie Vaquer and Lola Vice probably within the next 2 weeks here on NXT TV. I like the development of the ladies on NXT TV. Outside of everything else that was on NXT, um, yeah, didn't really care for it, if I'm being honest. I know they're riding that wave with what's going on with Trick Williams and Obafemi and Eddie Thorpe still. Um, Still not wholeheartedly invested in that. It seems like they have Ethan Page playing a more villainous role on NXT after what he did to the young OG last week. It seems like Ethan Page seems to be taking a page, no pun intended, out of the. If you've ever seen the TV show Dexter, it seems like he's taking a page out of that book. Um, the ladies triple threat tag team match I thought was decent enough. Still puts the Metaphor girls in the forefront. So that. I was not expecting Izzy Dane to beat Soruka, but I think there was some interference involved in that match as well. At some point, I'm just not remembering what it was, and I tapped out with the multi-man match here at the end or whatever. So because I'm not a fan of anybody in that match, and yeah, Wesley ain't the guy he used to be for me at this
it
point.
it's more like I was looking forward to it, but then I was like, this is holiday time and it was pre-recorded. I don't know what I expected out of it.
Mhm.
So, ladies and gentlemen, let's get back. We're gonna go on to the New Year, New You SmackDown. Ladies and gentlemen, if you do not know, SmackDown is on the USA Network now, along with NXT. And SmackDown, because it doesn't have any competition at this point, it will be 3 hours going forward. I don't know whether to be sad or happy. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, on SmackDown, it was on the 3rd. There was a non-title match. Shinsuke Nakamura defeated Andrade, sorry. I'm thinking about Andre Chase. Excuse me. Andrade Michin defeated Piper Niven. For the WWE Tag Team title match, DIY, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa defeated the Motor City Machine Guns in a no contest. WWE Women's title, Nia Jax defeated Naomi. For the WWE Women's title match, Tiffany decided to catch in and finally won by defeating Nia Jax in a title change. And the bloodline of Jacob Fatu, Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga defeated the OG bloodline of Jay Uso, Jimmy Uso, and Sami Zayn. Did you catch any of this? And what did you think? Because
Um,
I was like, Tippy, dog, I wish it wasn't the time. Dog.
I I think that they they did what the WWE. I thought that Tiffany Stratton would have won her championship or cashed in her Money in the Bank um, at a bigger event. Not to say that she was never going to win it. I just thought it was going to be like at a pay per view or like one of their one night specials. But to do it on a SmackDown, um, I understand that they wanted to keep the surprise element of it um, in check. It worked nonetheless. She defeated the right person. She defeated Naya and whatnot.
Now, is it
So
time for us to have a moment where she's at the pay per view? She is the champion and loses to the returning Charlotte Flair.
no, no. It's I
You
think
know how it rolls. She comes
no. I
in,
mean
she kicks butt, and she wins the title.
I feel like that was the Vince McMahon thing to do. If I'm being completely honest, I don't think Charlotte comes back and she automatically wins the championship now. They
Cause
need
didn't her and Tiffy have a stare down in NXT?
they did, but
And so it really didn't come to fruition for anything fruitful. And
no,
now
no,
this is the
they,
time
they
when
can
y'all can set that up.
they can set it up, but I don't think that Tiffany Stratton's gonna just outright just lose to Charlotte like that. They need to continue to show they as in the WWE, they need to continue to show that they're putting and they're supporting the newer women in their division. I'm not trying to phase out the girls who have been there for a long period of time, but you need to make the Tiffany Strattons of the world stronger. You need to make the Lyra Valkyria stronger out there and make them and make them be bigger names in your company because you called them up for a reason, right? Can't just have them sitting and catering and doing nothing and being fluff. So it's like might as well, at this point. So yeah, hopefully they do build to some sort of a match between Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair. But hopefully Tiffany retains the championship and doesn't have to lose it to Charlotte. Because I think the majority of the fan base has spoken over the years, and they're tired of that. And they need to have the Charlotte character do something different. Much like Bayley's doing something different at this point in her career. Uh, much like what Becky Lynch was doing before she left, something different, right? The younger ladies in the WWE need to be spotlighted, need to be put into more prominent positions, and I'm all for it. At the end of the day, um, outside of everything else, they're continuing to feed the Michin versus Chelsea Green feud, which I appreciate because it spotlights those two ladies, and I'm a big fan of those two ladies. Shinsuke Nakamura had a better match against Andrade on SmackDown on a Friday than he did at the Noah event that I have to talk about in a few minutes. So there's that part of it, and the tag team situation over on SmackDown is just, to me, it's a little bit messy at the end of the day, but we'll see where it goes. We'll see where it goes. And the bloodline stuff, I think the bloodline stuff is self-explanatory. But if folks aren't watching, the new bloodline versus the old bloodline still seems to continue on. Solo Sikoa had there was another 10-minute talking segment on SmackDown. This time where Paul Heyman took the majority of the time on the mic. Solo Sikoa ended up coming down to interrupt Paul Heyman after his long speech. Solo then said that it's going to be Paul's responsibility to hold on to the Ulafala outside of the tribal combat match, and it'll be Paul Heyman's job to bestow the Ulafala on whoever the winner of the tribal combat match on the first inaugural episode of the Netflix on Raw. So we shall see as to what happens there. If there's any turns if there's any other surprises that happen on Raw due to that tribal combat match. But it was a decent promo segment. Nonetheless, Paul Heyman, a master on the microphone, and Solo Sikoa, he's better. But yet Solo Sikoa to me, if for folks who don't know, Solo Sikoa to me is like the equivalent of David Finlay. He talks a good game, but he's not believable.
He can't talk a good game either.
So
It's
that's what it is.
it's that's the main problem. That's the main problem. He can't talk a good game or do it. I like Solo when he was silent and
Yes,
deadly.
it
The more
works.
he
Yeah.
talks, I'm like, and then also I'm beginning to, as an indie watcher, because if you all haven't been here, we watch indies. I love the indies. Watching Jacob, it was more like he would say it and make you feel like If I saw this man in a dark alley, I listen. I'm a person. I ain't gonna back down. Okay, I ain't gonna let you just punk me. But that man catch me in a dark alley. I used to feel like I'm just gonna have to take that L and just keep it moving. You see what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
because
I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to leave.
there's a certain level of realism that comes behind the character of Jacob Fatu, and he fought. I mean, yet again, like Solo's just one of those guys, and this is. And I'm talking about the character, not the guy, right? I don't know Solo personally, but it just he falls into that same category as David Finley, where their voices just don't match the attitude of the characters they're trying to
Wardlow.
portray.
Wardlow is in that category too. It's like, okay, sir, I don't want you to grab the microphone.
Sure, fair
Jacob
enough for
used
me.
to come. Jacob used to come out on GCW and other places, and it was like he said 4 or 5 words, but you knew he was about to knock somebody's teeth into the
Right,
fourth
right, right,
wall.
right. There was a certain
Now
level
this
of
whole
person.
like every time I see him, he going, "I love you Solo." That really okay. It was funny. It was especially funny at War Games where they had him like do the football entrance, and he was like, "From the University of I love you Solo." Now that was hilarious.
Mhm.
But as the weeks have gone on, I'm like,
That's his. That's
"Brother,
his.
that just seems like that's your whole character that you
That's
are
his. That's his.
wrestling
That's his.
this man
That's
who
his
seems
shtick.
to not know what he's doing and depends upon you for help."
Yeah, absolutely. He is
So you
beholden.
know what
He's
it is?
beholden.
You
So
know what I think about it after I just said it like that? It is Roman Solo with Solo Jacob.
sure.
Because remember when I forgot what match it was that Jacob, I think it was the cage match where Jacob like stood him up and shook him up like, "We got this. Come on, get up. Let's get this." Like I remember when Solo did that to Roman. And then the excuse was when he turned against Roman was, "You didn't have it in you, and I had it in me, and I had to do it for the both of us." That's like, okay, so now I see like you, but again, that could go into like we keep playing these same storylines out. Can we get some kind of twist to it?
We'll see.
Like,
We'll see.
but I enjoy everybody but Solo. When he grabs the mic, I'm like, please take it away. It's like Warlow. I'm like, take it away, take it away. Ladies and gentlemen, we're on to the next show, not from WWE, but from AEW, All Elite Wrestling, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to start off with All Elite's Dynamite, ladies and gentlemen. Boom, here comes the Dynamite. If you all don't remember that, it used to be a thing back in the day. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Dynamite was 274. I don't know why I put street date, but just that was my mind in a different place. Fight for the Fallen 2025. We started out with Adam Page defeating Orange Cassidy. The Hurt Syndicate of Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin defeating the Acclaim of Anthony Bowens and Max Caster. Julia Hart defeated Jamie Hayter. We had a Casino Gauntlet #1 spot 3-way match where Jay White, let me say it again, Switchblade, come on out, come on out. But instead, Jay White defeated Roderick Strong and Swerve Strickland. We had a 2-on-1 handicap match where we saw Powerhouse Hobbs defeat John Cruz and Rob Killjoy. Rated FTR of Cash Wheeler, Dax Hardwood, and Adam Copeland. It's a lot. I had to try to fit it in, so I just called him Cope. Defeated the Death Riders of Claudio Castagnoli, John Moxley, and Willa Yuta. J News, did you like this?
Oh man. So I had mixed feelings about the show. It was AEW's first show. The mother, they're supposed to be the mother of all. They tagged it the mother of all simulcast. Their first show being streamed on Max Live. Uh, so if you have Max, the app, the streaming application that is distributed by Warner Brothers Television and movies, that particular studio, you can now watch AEW every Wednesday night and every Saturday night, be it for Dynamite and or Collision. There are older AEW Dynamite and Collision episodes on there. So if you want to take yourselves, if you're not too familiar with AEW, you can take yourselves onto Max and watch some older episodes and see if you become fans of the AEW product. With that being said, I thought that they didn't do enough to showcase what AEW is as a product, right? A lot of people keep on talking about AEW doesn't have an identity. No, they do. They just have issue with being consistent and how to project that identity. That's the main problem. They did that here. This was a decent episode of Dynamite, but it wasn't the greatest. And it also being a Fight for the Fallen episode, something that was supposed to that did garner money. It was a show that basically was to help raise funds for people who were affected by the hurricanes that happened in Nashville, North Carolina. Given the main event, I'll explain that now. But to go through the matches quickly, I thought the Adam Page versus the Orange Cassidy match was pretty good. So they're continuing in that realm with Adam Page right now, trying to vie for a shot at the AEW Championship. The Hurt Syndicate looking strong as they have been since they joined AEW. As AEW continues the storyline with the eventual disintegration of the Acclaimed between Anthony Bowens and Max Caster. So that continued there. Anthony Bowens at one point came in after a hot tag. He was doing his thing. He was finally getting to the Hurt Syndicate or whatever the case is. And then Max Caster put in a blind tag to try to take over. And Anthony Bowens just skipped out of the match and just watched as the Hurt Syndicate continued to obliterate Max Caster and win the match that way. Julia Hart versus Jamie Hayter. This match disappointed me because I am a fan of both of these young ladies, but you can tell that Julia Hart had a good amount of ring rust on her. So this was her first match back post-injury. There were a couple of spots, physical spots during the match that were a little clunky, and then the final spot of the match where Julia Hart was supposed to spray mist in Jamie Hayter's face, that was completely missed. Missed as in MISSED. She missed the spot of misting Jamie Hayter. Jamie Hayter did a hell of a job selling the mist, but you can tell that Julia Hart's mist colored capsule was all on the ring mat after the fact. So with that being said, that's just an area of improvement of execution when it comes to matches and things and how they're supposed to be continuing storylines between, at least for Julia Hart in that particular sense. Jamie Hayter did what she was supposed to do. The Casino Gauntlet match, I thought the match was pretty strong, to be quite honest. Love the fact that Jay White won the match. Roderick Strong always doing the damn thing. Swerve seemed like he was about to win. But I think the biggest thing to take away out of AEW Dynamite that happened on the first was Ricochet's not heel turn, but how he turned up his heel character. He basically came out during the triple threat match, did Ricochet out of the crowd, and he attacked Swerve Strickland with a gold scissor. He basically spiked Swerve Strickland in the head with the gold scissor. Swerve was then gushing blood, and Ricochet just beat the piss out of Swerve Strickland. At this point, to give you a clear picture, we're used to seeing Ricochet wear his ring gear. When Ricochet was beating the crap out of Swerve, he was wearing this. It wasn't a powder blue. It was like more of a denim blue kind of a suit, a colored suit, should I say? And he was wearing these big, thick 1980s era kind of glasses, much like the character in American Psycho that Christian Bale played. So if you want to ever go back to watching that movie, early to mid 2000s, I believe it was, Patrick Bateman, I believe is the name of the character. And he basically played up that character in a wrestling sense. And Ricochet laid out Swerve. I thought that was a big momentum shifter in the right direction for Ricochet's character. He's doing a lot more stuff on AEW TV than he ever did in WWE, and in a positive way. That's my take. But at the end of the day, like I said, my take, my personal opinion. But at the end of the day, the fact of the matter is he has more TV time, and he's doing more with his TV time. So that's factual. So regardless of what people want to say about if they whether or not they like Ricochet's character or not, have at it. But he's doing more with his TV time now than he ever did with the WWE. Um, the Powerhouse Hobbs match, I'm not a big fan of squash matches. So that is what that is. That didn't really make Powerhouse Hobbs to me look stronger than what he already was. So that was that. And the main event match was really more for the Asheville, North Carolina crowd, being that Rated FTR, Cash Wheeler, and Dax Harwood are who currently live and are from that area. Adam Copeland, aka Cope himself, lives in that area. They wanted to give the citizens and people and residents of Asheville a great show at the end of the day to take their minds off of what had been going on and what transpired in Asheville all those months ago, and their continued efforts to keep rebuilding in the town and city. And they just wanted to do it for Asheville. And I think throughout the show, they revealed that AEW as a company was able to donate over $100,000 to different charities in the Asheville area as a result of the gate that was garnered for ticket sales and things of that nature. So props to AEW for that. And with all that being said, the Death Riders uh, storyline continues on. And there are more bits of that into Collision, which we will talk about in a few minutes. Dolores, you're on mute.
Me fighting the mute button. I tell you, we're gonna fight till the end of time. Ring of Honor was the next show up, ladies and gentlemen. Luckily, we have it here for you, ladies and gentlemen. It was pretty short, actually, ladies and gentlemen. I want to get a round clap of applause. I didn't have to stay all day and all night. I didn't have to pack a lunch. Okay, he has been listening to us say that we were fighting for our lives for this. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we had a women's ROH Women's World Title match where Red Velvet defeated Hanako. I pronounced that right, didn't I, Jenny? Hanako.
Yep.
Listen, I got to double check with Jay News. He's a teacher of how to pronounce names. I just know how they look, where they came from, and what I see. That's it. Action Andrade and Leo Rush defeated Homicide and Rocky Romero. Harley Cameron defeated Ashley Vox. Shane Taylor Productions, which is Charlie Bravo, Lee Moriarty, Shane Taylor, and Sean Dean, with Trisha Dora on their side, defeated Iron Savages of Beefcake Boulder and Bo Bronson and the Dark Order, Alex Reynolds and Evil Uno. Uh, ROH Women's World Title match, Athena defeated Willa Nightingale by referee's decision. That was the older match that they had recorded. ROH Women's World Title Proving Ground match, World Title Television Group Proving Ground match. It was Commander defeating QT Marshall at a time limit draw. Ladies and gentlemen, like I said, I watched this, so you don't have to. The Shane Taylor Productions, I love them. I just want better for them in the coming future. Stop having them there. They need to be main roster. They are over this little chicken shack joint you got them in, okay? I used to love Ring of Honor down. Watch it all day and all night. But at this point, it's becoming where we're testing people for what if they're not going to move to the main roster. Ladies and gentlemen, we're on to AEW Collision. Now, I know some of you all are like, hey, Dolores, we used to do Rampage before we do Collision. Well, ladies and gentlemen, last week was the last week. Rampage is no longer in out. So let's say a good RIP, pour a little something out for our good brother Rampage. It didn't make it. But we got Collision. So, ladies and gentlemen, Collision, as you saw, was on Collision 75 on 1-4. AEW TNT title match. Daniel Garcia defeated Mark Briscoe. Jeff Jarrett, boo, defeated Aaron Solo. AEW World Tag Team title match. Private Party, Quinn and Zay defeated Action Andrade and Leo Rush. Tony Storm, the new Tony Storm. Oh my God. So refreshing to see a new woman into the division. Defeated Deanna Perrazzo. We had the 100, whatever. I'm not even going to say all of that. High speed collision 4-way match. This is crazy because none of them made this money at all. Brian Cage defeated Dante Martin and Commander and Beast Mortos. Frank couldn't even get that money. The imaginary money. Frank couldn't even get that. Uh, Reddit FTR defeated the Learning Tree. Hallelujah. Of Big Bill, Brian Keith, and Chris Jericho. Did you enjoy any of this?
I
On
didn't get to see this show because I was probably watching a Knicks game. So for what I caught up on online through their video synopsises of all the matches, it seemed like Danny and Mark had a pretty decent match. Daniel Garcia basically defeated Mark Briscoe towards the tail end of that time limit that they had with a quick roll up. So it wasn't a definitive win over Mark Briscoe. So Daniel Garcia's storyline as TNT champion is a little bit different than previous champions. So I can appreciate AEW doing that. Jeff Jarrett is starting his road to wherever this last ride of his is going. So he beat one of the enhancement talents on AEW TV, aka Aaron Solo. So that continues that. I didn't catch because for whatever reason they didn't have it up at the time that I was watching all the different collision stuff. The Private Party versus Andretti and Leo Rush. So
I just want to say, Jeff Jarrett, get out of here, please. I won't. At this point, I'm gonna do a snippet because you can't do a long period of time. But in my head, every time I see Jeff Jarrett talk about this announcement, this, I want to say, I want to start singing Beyonce, 16 carriages riding away. Listen, I just wanted to say it. Just get out of my face. I don't want to see this no more. Please. The Dog and Pony Show, you can leave. Take AJ Francis with you. Okay? Take JBL. Go on out of here. Booker, listen, Booker, we're going to talk about you next week. Because has it happened already or is it going to happen? The match between him and Zilla Fatu.
I think it's scheduled to happen. I don't think it happened.
Yeah, I think it's coming up.
Yeah.
We're definitely going to talk about that. Because I normally keep up with reality of wrestling here and there, not consistently. So that's why we don't talk about it consistently. But the moment I saw that everybody was talking about and I tuned in when he cost Zilla the championship, and then Zilla was like, I thought we was cool, but I see you just another old head. Like he was just snapping on him. I was like, that was personal, Zilla. You took that from a personal deep part of your soul. And then also, Zilla, I want to give you a thing of something I want to say to you. I know your cousins are in the WWE, but you ever just seen an ex that's desperate on the outside of your house with a boombox and in the rain? That's what you begin to look like every time I see videos of you in the crowd or outside of the stadium signing autographs, pointing up your ones when you're not the one yet. Let it go, okay? Your time is coming, just not now. Okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go on to the next. And the next will be TNA Wrestling, ladies and gentlemen. Total nonstop action. Now, I'm going to be perfectly fine with you and say that this was super short. And after I found out it was super short, I super didn't watch it. Okay? Because I wasn't going to waste my brain cells with some kind of backstage talking that was not going to happen. Ladies and gentlemen, you had Ryan Nemeth defeat Rhino by DQ. Ace Austin defeated Kushida. Jordan Grace, Masha Slamovich, and Spitfire, consisting of Danny Luna and Jody Threat, defeat Ash by Elegance, Heather by Elegance, Rosemary, and Tasha Steele. That was it. And we're going to keep it moving.
Well,
Ladies,
hold on.
uh,
Head back to that real quick so I can just say some pieces about this.
uh,
So as of those air dates, those were Kushida's and Rhino's last matches with TNA. Their contracts had expired and they did not re-sign with TNA. But your homeboy AJ Francis did get a new deal with TNA, so he'll be back on TNA TV sometime soon. And for I actually watched this ladies match because they actually posted the match right after the show aired. Um, Shouts to the ladies for killing it in this match. To be quite honest, I haven't seen U.S. based women work at that rate and speed in a very long time, not if ever. So shouts to the TNA ladies for putting on a banger of a match uh, on that end. So yeah, I just wanted to say that.
ladies and gentlemen, we're on to Progress, who had a great show. And if you were on Trella TV, I remember telling you all last week it was on, and I couldn't focus because I was trying to watch it. Progress Wrestling Chapter 175. Um, the curtain call, ladies and gentlemen. And I wish it wasn't because I was excited to see it. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. It was on 12/29. El Hijo del Vikingo defeated Kid Lycos II in a no contest. Well, it ended in no contest. I say he won because he did a great job. And anytime I see uh, Vikingo, I remember that he can do stuff that I would never do. Progress Atlas title match. Alex Axel. I don't know why I keep calling him Axel. Axel Tischer defeated Big Damo. Enjoyed that match. Was it like high flying? It was like after the high flying match, you had some big head on bulls going at it. Alexis Falcon defeated Charles Crowley. Michael Oku. Hey, lady, be quiet. At this point, you know your AI devices are going off when they heard that Michael Oku came out. Michael Oku defeated Mark Haskins. Progress Tag Team Title three-way match. Smoking Aces of Charlie Sterling and Nick Riley defeated Jerry Bakewell and Simon Miller and Moth Dog, which was considered of Gene Mooney and Will Cruz. Listen, anytime you get some of these people in a match, it's gonna be goofy and funny. Not intentionally all the time, but it will be goofy and funny. Ladies and gentlemen, Progress Women's Title match. Nina Samuels defeated Rio for the title. Good match. I would suggest you go back and watch it. But the match that I think you definitely need to go back and watch is the Progress World Title four-way match. Luke Jacobs defeated Leon Slater, Man Like DeReese, and Ricky Knight Jr. Ladies and gentlemen, I can tell you, go back and watch that last match. Hi, Tori's brain. How you doing? She said, not with the boombox. Listen, some of them, I be ready to get up out of here.
Uh,
Later.
I would like to say you completely skipped over the Thunder Bastards match, which was quite a nice bit of entertainment. It's always a pleasure to see my dear Sessions Moth Martina
Oh
come
yeah, I
into
forgot
the
about that.
ring with her beers. She
Oh yeah,
is
she's something about her. Also, I want to point out the lady who was on. I think she was on Wrestle Kingdom in one of the matches with again with the no, it wasn't. Was it Wrestle Dream with her, Athena, and somebody else? And she came out there like like a masked
that
GTA character.
that was Persephone. Yeah.
Yes, she came out there. I was like, the body is bodying, and you're out here twisting that thing loose. You gonna shake something loose before you get to the ring.
Yeah, but I wanted to mention the Thunder Bastards match because those matches are always fun. Um, and
Yeah,
yeah,
I did see that, but I was so once I got to the last two matches, I was
no,
so
I get it. I
so
understand.
in love with those two matches, and especially the last match because I was up here and I was like semi looking at it while we were online. I was like, ugh. Ladies and gentlemen, Defy had a show on the same day, which, ladies and gentlemen, I had to go back and watch this stuff. It hurt my feelings that I missed it out to watch live. I like to watch live. We had somebody I wish would go away too. The Bollywood Boys of Gerv and Harv Shearer defeat Sonico and Super Crazy. Marcus Mathers, the Bollywood Boys, let's correct it. I don't want them to go away like go away heat, go away, but more like I'm just sick of seeing them as much as I do. Marcus Mathers defeated Evan Rivers. Viva Van defeated Amira, Megan Bain, Nicole Matthews, and Sandra Moon. That was good. I'm going to go back and watch it. Wasn't great, but it was good. The Outrunners of Truth Magnum and Turboy Floyd defeated Midnight Heat of Eddie Pearl and Ricky Gibson. Joey Janela defeated Cody Chun for the Defy Tag Team title match. We had Sinner and Saint, Judas Icarus and Travis Williams defeat Los Desperados Ares and Gringo Loco in a title change. They've been holding on to that title for a while. And the match that I was sort of, listen, I normally go against Kenta. Let me preface that. Except for this match. Defy World Tag, the Defy World title match, Kenta defeated Scoff. Now, was it Kenta? Because my brain gets scrambled. I've saw a lot of wrestling this week. They did the fast paced, cute walk down the ring at
Yeah,
Wrestle Dream.
Russell
Yes,
he at the New Japan Rambo, he power walked his way to. So yeah, that was
that
definitely.
was like that was like. Listen, for those who are watching on any of these platforms, that's more like if you are non-melanated and an older woman, that's how you would walk down to the ring.
So that was that part of it. Shouts to Viva Van, uh, due to the fact that she was able to finally announce over the week that she has now signed officially with AEW/ROH. So shouts to Viva Van for that. Just wanted to give her a shout out.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're on to GCW. And if you don't know, I love GCW because I love the violence. Okay? I love the violence. And I'm going to give you a lot of words in a short amount of things. It's GCW till infinity, ladies and gentlemen. I felt like Buzz Lightyear just then. Till infinity and beyond. Ladies and gentlemen, we had one Carl Manders defeat Tony Deppen. We had Griffin McCoy and Kerry Morton defeat Grim Reaper and Homicide. We had a hardcore match where Atticus Cougar defeated Cyclope. We had Cole Radrick defeat Dominic Gennari. We had Kevin Koo defeat Alex Price. We had a hardcore match where Megan Bain defeated John Wayne Murdoch, ladies and gentlemen. Joey Janela in the death match defeated Dr. Redacted. Now, this is the part at the end where we're going to go, and then we're going to go to the next page. Megan Bain for the GCW World Title #1 contendership do or die Rumble match. Megan Bain defeated one Kyle Manders, Alex Price, Atticus Cougar, Austin Luke, Azriel, Blake Christian, Broski Jimmy, Charlie Tiger, Cyclope, Dan Perch, Dominic Gennari, Dr. Redacted, Frankie Pickard, Griffin McCoy, Grim Reaper, her own boyfriend, Joe Janela, John Wayne Murdoch, Justin Finn, Kerry Morton, Kevin Koo, Lucky 13, Matt Tremont, Sam Holiday, Sleepy Ed, Tara Zepp, Tarzan Duran, Tony Deppen, Trevor Outlaw, and Wes Berkeley. She was in there with them and she wrestled in a match that lasted 46 minutes and 28 seconds, ladies and gentlemen. So now we're gonna go over to the next slide because I like to be a little detailed with y'all because I had to watch this. Okay, so I am going to go into it with you all. Blake Christian initially eliminated Austin Luke. Blake Christian eliminated Trevor Outlaw. John Wayne Murdoch eliminated Tara. Griffin McCoy then eliminated, and Kerry Morton then eliminated Cyclope and Lucky 13. Grim Reaper eliminated Kevin Griffin McCoy. Sorry, excuse me. Kerry Morton then eliminated Grim Reaper for what he did. Alex Price eliminated Dominic Gennari and Kevin Koo, the tag team together. Alex Price eliminated Shabist. Listen, they have some weird names on GCW. One Kyle Manders then eliminated Azriel and Frankie Pickard. Blake Christian eliminated Sleepy Ed, which he was sleepy. Justin Finn eliminated Blake Christian then. Tony Deppen eliminated Justin Finn. Dan Perch went on an eliminated spree because he eliminated Tony Deppen, Wes Barkley, and Broski Jimmy to only be eliminated by Kerry Morton. Megan Bain then eliminated Kerry Morton and Sam Holliday. Her boyfriend eliminated Charlie Tiger. And then Matt Tremont said, hey, hold my beer, while I eliminated Tarzan Duran, Dr. Redacted, John Wayne Murdoch. Atticus Cougar then eliminated one Kyle Manders. Megan Bain eliminated Matt Tremont. Atticus Cougar then eliminated Joey Janela. So then that left Megan Bain to eliminate Atticus Cougar for the win. I know that was a lot. It took a lot of air for me to say. Ladies and gentlemen, we're on to J News, and it's Stardom.
This is Dream Queendom 2024, which went down on the 29th of December. This was Stardom's end of the year show. So we had the pre-show tag match that had the Cosmic Angels of Aya Sakura and Unimis Mori defeating Chi-Chi and Matoi Hamabe. And another pre-show match, we had Rani Yagami versus Sayaka Kurara in a time limit draw. Those two young ladies are basically the equivalent of young lions on New Japan, but on the Stardom side and stuff like that. And there is a lot of interest and hype between those two young ladies. So look out for them in the near future. We then had the Goddess of Stardom title match. It had Stars, basically their tag team titles. It had the Stars team of Hanan and Saya Lita defeat the Hate team of Momo Watanabe and Thekla. So there was a title change there. Stars comes away with the Goddess of Stardom tag team titles. We had Empress Nexus Venus members Hanako, Mina Shirakawa, Rian, and Waka Tsukiyama defeat God's Eye of Hina Lady C, Saki Kashima, and Tomoka Inaba, and Hate members Azusa Inaba, Fukigen Death, Rina, and Ruaka. We had then had the lovely ladies of Neo Genesis, Azume, Mei Sarah, Mayu Amasaki, and Suzuki defeat Stars team members Hazuki, Kaguma, Mayu Iwatani, and Momokogo. We then had Sayori Ano defeat Maika Iwata. Sayori defeated Konami by DQ. In a no DQ match, we had Natsuko Tora defeat Maika. I found that surprising, to be quite honest. And then Wonder of Stardom title match, we had Starlight Kid finally get her first singles gold outside of the High Speed Championship by defeating Natsupoi. So Baipoi, sorry about that. And then World of Stardom title match, we had Saya Kamatani in her big time win, defeating Tam Nakano for the World of Stardom title as the leader, quote unquote, of the Hate tribe, Saya Kamatani, coming away with the win here. So all the title changes are big deals for the ladies on this show for Stardom. It was definitely a cool, dope show. I would say if you can, give it a watch. We then go over to Stardom New Year Dream, which took part 2 days ago on the 3rd. We had Mizuki Kato and Yuma Makoto defeat Hanako and Rian. God's Eye, Lady C, and Nanami defeated Stars members Momo Kogo and Sayalita. We then had God's Eye members Haina and Rani Yagami defeats Soy and Zones. We then had the interesting tag team of Athena and Thekla defeat Mina Shirakawa and Tay Mello. Tay Mello returning after almost 2 years off away from the ring after giving birth to her baby girl and things of that nature. Tay Mello looked great. Athena looked great, but it seems like Athena and Thekla did not get along post match, and they worked themselves into a program for Athena's ROH championship, which I'll talk about in a few minutes. High speed battle royale. We had Saki Kashima defeating Kanaku, Matoi Hanabe, and Waka Tsukiyama, and Yuna Mizumori. Matoi Hanabe was eliminated. Waka Tsukiyama then got eliminated. Kanaku then got eliminated, and Saki Kashima eliminated Yuna Mizumori. And that was the order of the Battle Royal. And then the last match was Hate of Rina and Raka defeating Hanan and Manami. We then had the Sendai Girls Junior title match. It was Chi-Chi, the champion, defeating Aya Sakura, God's Eye members Suri and Tomaka Inaba, along with Kyoka Katatsu, defeating Hate members Asuza Inaba, Fukigen Death, and Momo Watanabe. We then had stars of Hazuki Kaguma and Mayu Iwasani defeating Neo Genesis, Azumi Meisura, and Mayu Amasaki. Cosmic Angel members Natsupoi, Sayori Ano, and Sayaka Karara defeating the legend Dump, Matsumoto, Matsuko Tora, and Zap. Empress Lexus Venus members Hanako and Maika defeated Team 200K of Chihiro Hashimoto and Yu. Stardom career versus Stardom name match in a match that made no sense for me to happen on this particular card, just simply due to the fact that we all knew that Tam was going to win this match. But it was Tam Nakano against Unagi Sayaka. Unagi's been away from Stardom for quite some time. She's been doing her stuff independently. She's been doing a great job. So Tam Nakano wins this match. Unagi's no longer allowed back in Stardom, even though in her post-match comments, she says that the only person who has the power to bring her back to Stardom is now Tam. So if Tam ever wants to team with her again or bring her back, she can. So I feel like that was a flush in that whole match. So I don't even know why that match even happened. And then to end the night, we had Neo Genesis member Starlight Kid and Suzu Suzuki defeat Hate members Momo Watanabe and Saya Kamitani. Pro Wrestling Noah had their New Year's show that took place, I believe it was New Year's Day or the day after. But we had Rattel's Hayata, Yohei, and Yuto Kikuchi defeating Amakusa, Iata, and Junta Miyawaki. In a tag team rumble match, we had Masaki, Mochizuki, and Takashi Sugiura defeat All Rebellion and Black Menso
You know
Ray.
what, Jay
Yeah.
News? This one is for the. Let me skip it over this. They had two shows within the week. Oops, sorry. Oh, their second show is not on it. There we go. That was for the reboot.
Oh,
There.
okay.
It went by so fast. I was like, no, that ain't it.
Okay.
There we go.
All right. So we had the New Year's event date on New Year's Day. We had a battle royal match. It had Tadasuke defeat Dump Matsumoto, the legendary Joshi wrestler, Harutoki, and LJ Cleary, and Masaki Mochizuki, and Masao Inoue, and Saxon Huxley, and Shohei Taniguchi, and Titus Alexander, and Yu Owada, and Yuto Kikuchi, and Zuzoya. So there's that. GHC Junior Heavyweight Tag Team title match. We had Rattel's Hayata and Yohei, the champions, defeat All Rebellion members Alejandro and Kai Fujimori, and Amasuka and Junta Miyawaki. We had Atsushi Katoje, Goshi Ozaki, Hajime Ohara, and Muhammad Yone defeat Black Menso Ray, Kazuyuki Fujita, Shuji Ishikawa, and Tetsuya Endo. Wow, Endo's in Noah now. Didn't even know that. Daiki Otoshima went one-on-one against Kazuyuki Fujita in a time limit draw. We had Galeno del Mal defeat his brother, El Hijo del Dr. Wagner Jr. As of right now, from my understanding, El Hijo del Dr. Wagner Jr. is a free agent. He is not signed to CMLL, nor is he signed to Noah. So it'll be interesting to see as to where El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr. goes from here into 2025. In a match that has been wondered about for decades at this point. I from what I saw of it and from the reactions online, the Kenta versus Keno match didn't live up to the hype, unfortunately. But Kenta did defeat Keno. GHC Junior Heavyweight Title best 2 out of 3 falls match. Iata defeated Daga 2-1, and he is now the new GHC Junior Heavyweight title holder. For the GHC national title, Manabu Soya, the champion, defeated Masaki Tamiya. The GHC tag team title match, Team 2000X, Jack Morris and Omos, with Yoshitatsu with their corner, defeated Naomichi Marufuji and Takashi Sugiyara, and there's a title change. In his first match at Noah, Omos becomes a champion. We then had the Noah Shinsuke Nakamura match, which had Shinsuke Nakamura defeat Ulka Sasaki in a match that did not get nearly enough time and did not go very well. And then in the GHC heavyweight title match, we had the champion, Kaito Kiyomiya, lose to Ogawa in a very surprising move. Ogawa now becoming the GHC World Heavyweight Champion. And
Yeah,
that
they
was,
had the GAC national title on that. The next one is where he lost his title, but they had Soya and Tadasuke.
Mhm.
Soya won on the national title, and then that's what they set it up for. They had Our Rebellion, Kato Kayami and Keno defeat Team 2000X, which was Daga and Ozawa. Is that how you pronounce it? Ozawa.
Mhm.
Yes. So that was on that show. Then they turned around, ladies and gentlemen, and they had the no, that's the one, you got it right. The
Yeah.
Kato Kamiya.
Yeah.
Then they turned around the next night and had the next set of matches, which I did catch this one, and I was like, okay, Noah, I like you, but when we talk about later on the counterpart, I think that they had a good effort. They but not as great as what I saw coming from New Japan.
Yeah. But the reboot show had a tag match to start. Rattel's Hayata Yohei um, and their partner defeated Amakusa Ayata and Juta Miyawaki. In the tag team rumble, Masaki Mochizuki and Takashi Sugiyara defeated All Rebellion, Black Menso Ray, and Masaki Tamiya. Alejandro and Kai Fujimura and Goshi Ozaki and Muhammad Yone and Hajime Ohara, Shuhei Taniguchi, LJ Cleary and Zazoya and Naomichi Marufuji and Yu Owada, along with Titus Alexander and Ulka Sasaki. Tetsuya Endo defeated Atsushi Katuje in a special singles match. We then had Team 2000X, Jack Morris and Omos, along with Yu Owada and Yoshitatsu in their corner, defeat Hijo del Dr. Wagner Jr., Galeno del Mal, and Saxon Huxley. In the GHC national title match, we had Manabu Soya, the champion, defeat Tadasuke. And then we had All Rebellion members, Kaito Kiyomiya and Keno, defeat Team 2000X members, Daga and Ozawa. So they're going to continue along in that feud with Kiyomiya and Ozawa to into 2025. And we'll see as to where that leaves the rest of the members of All Rebellion and Team 2000X as they now have Omos in their corner.
Yeah, I can take Omos with you, Jeff Jarrett and AJ Francis. Take Omos with you,
Okay.
okay, please, because I looked at that match and I realized, did y'all just think he was gonna bring like a whole bunch of people in, and that's why y'all brought him? Or
No, it was a talent exchange at the end of the day. So Omos is over in Nora, and I think they have Iwamura over in NXT. So we'll see.
that was not a talent exchange. That was not an equal talent exchange. That was
Yeah.
not equal. That
At
was
the
not.
end, it's an excursion for Omos. We'll see if he learns anything out of the Noah system. I think Tavion Heights had a great experience in
Now,
Noah.
Tavion was great from the beginning. They didn't give him the opportunities. So the moment he stepped over there, he was automatically good.
Mm.
Almost. It's like it's a difference from going from level 5 to 10 to going from, no offense, almost. I'm just saying no offense. -5 to 10.
I think from just to lend a different perspective of my own, uh, professional wrestling is so, at least in my eyes, it's so far away from the overly large attraction wrestler at this point,
Yes.
in the sense of the Omos's, the Andre the Giants, the Big Shows of the world. Like those, and mind you, Big Show was tremendous when he started his wrestling career because he was super athletic. But
Yes.
with time and attrition and his health, things kicked his ass. And obviously, for those who don't know the career of Andre the Giant, I would say Google it and look it up. He was just a special attraction wrestler at the end of the day. But those oversized wrestlers, the guys like Kevin Nash, even and El Gigante from his day, or Giant Gonzalez as they call them, or whatever the case is. Yeah, like the day of those wrestlers is pretty much over because we're such in a in a in an era of wrestlers who are super athletic, and for dudes to be more or less statuesque and not have a certain level of athletic ability in the ring in 2024, 2025, it doesn't do much for the consumer, right? Like professional wrestling came from backgrounds of carnivals and things of that nature. It's far removed from that now. So, respect to everybody who paved the way, but like for what professional wrestling is now, that kind of wrestler, unless they're super athletic and are able to do things that that big men in the history of professional wrestling can't do, that kind of performer should have a lane, but they don't currently.
I
uh
think what's
yeah.
wrong with Almas is that you cannot be and I said this for even wrestlers who are tall, skinny, big, whatever. You can't be missing both.
Mm.
Like you have no charisma and you can't wrestle. You can't have both. Like I can accept that you could be either funny or a good talker on the mic, but when you're like and then you can't really do anything, that makes me be like, "Hey, what's your purpose?" And being tall is no longer acceptable. Like even if, and I know you don't watch outside of the things. If you watch, I watch the Joe Budden Chat podcast. I watch Queen's Flip outside of it. Queen's Flip's character is of a man who likes to crash out all the time. And he does the most and gets beat down and stomped out by celebrities for doing the most.
Which one of them is Queen's Flip?
The short, fat guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
Now
because he's the one who
he
always
did
makes
this to Omos.
he's the one who always makes comments on Joe Budden's podcast in a sense of like he doesn't know anything. Like he's just
Yes,
gotten
yeah,
tuned.
that's the thing. He's
Yeah.
learning as he goes.
Yeah.
This is the thing about because he does skits.
Mm.
He's grown up now. He's not crashing out as much, so he's got family content now. He had a series of things with Almost where he does too much. Almost is supposed to rant on him and just slam him and everything.
Mm.
Okay. One of the skits I particularly remember is he takes a baseball bat and smacks Almost's glass on his truck. Now, mind you, in front of his house. Mind you, these are things that the celebrity signs up for but doesn't know exactly what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine, J News, you wake up, you come to your door, you know Queensfield's supposed to be there. He's supposed to do something stupid. You don't know what it is. And he starts busting out your window of your F-150. You come out there. You're supposed to like get angry enough to rip his shirt off,
Mm-hmm.
smack him in the chest.
Mm-hmm.
He comes out there. He's like, "What are you doing? Why are you doing this? What's wrong with you? As he's shaking him slowly. And then he takes his shirt and he goes, stop it. And pushes him to the ground. Queen's Flip was like, tried to quote unquote sell it. It was like, oh, like, but Queen's Flip, I have seen, I can't even remember the rapper. It could have been Jim Jones. Been smacked harder than that. And I'm like, sir, he's damaging your real vehicle. And this is your response in a real situation is to sound like you're on zero and you don't care. How am I supposed to care about you with a script and no talent? Tell me why.
It's a different.
You know what? I don't like AJ Francis, but I can say he says some stupid stuff and he has a little bit of charisma. Okay? He says some stupid stuff on the mic sometimes. And I've been looking at him. Now, the only thing that makes me not like AJ Francis, sir, stop trying to dive from the middle rope. That's just not your. That's not over the top and through the middle is not your ministry. Okay? Stop that. You don't even it don't never work out for you. It don't never work out for you. And I always think you're gonna get yourself hurt. In 2025, I'm tired of seeing JBL, Jeff Jarrett, Chris Jericho, Omos, AJ Francis, PCO. Get them up out of here. Take that red eye, go. Get out of here. Also, I kind of don't want to say it, but I secretly don't want to see Jeff do the Swanton bomb again. And I definitely don't never want to see the high fly flow again. Just me, okay? At a certain point, you have to realize you old. Okay? You old. Let it go. Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna move on to New Japan Pro Wrestling. Yay! J News, we get to talk about the fun we've had the past few days. We're gonna start about what we didn't talk about, which was on the 4th, we had Wrestle Kingdom 19.
Yeah, so Wrestle Kingdom 19 was yesterday on the 4th. They had a pre-show IWGP World Heavyweight Title contendership match. It was basically their version of the Royal Rumble. Hiroki Goto, the New Japan legend, ended up winning the New Japan Rambo. The other contestants in the New Japan Rambo were the Sauce Alex Zane, the Great Okan, Hiroshi Tenzan, the New Japan legend, Josh Barnett, Kenta, Oleg Bolton, Sonata, Satoshi Kojima, Tai Chi, Togi Makabe, Tomoaki Hanma, Tomohiro Ishii, Toru Yano, Yoshihashi, Yuji Nagata, and Yujiro Takahashi were all the contenders in the Rambo. But yet again, Hiroki Goto ended up winning. So congrats to Hiroki Goto there. He'll get a future shot at the the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship somewhere down the road. Then we started the show for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team title terror ladder match or whatever the case is. It was the Ichiban Sweet Boys, Kosei Fujita and Robbie Eagles. They ended up winning the match against the Intergalactic Jet Setters of Kevin Knight and Kushida, the Bullet Club War Dogs of Clark Connors, Jill Maloney, and Cash 22's Francesco Akira and TJP. It was a great sprint of a match for that ladder match, man. Shouts to Kevin Knight for all the stunts he was pulling off. Everybody looked good. Nobody looked weak at the end of the day for me. And everybody did their part. But the Ichiban Sweet Boys started the match waving their TMDK flag and doing the damn thing and winning the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championships. We then had the IWGP Women's Title match versus the GOAT herself, Mayu Iwatani, the champion, defeating one of my favorites in Azumi. These ladies had 10 minutes and they killed it. They completely killed it. They tore the house down. They did incredible in that ring. For a 9-minute and whatever second match, they did the damn thing. The ladies showed out during the weekend. So if you're gonna watch Wrestle Kingdom 19, go out of your way to watch Mayu Iwatani versus Azumi. We then had the New Japan World Television Title four-way match. We had the returning El Phantasmo getting the win here over Ren Narita, Jeff Cobb, and Ryohei Oiwa. El Phantasmo coming back from a cancer scare, from a testicular cancer scare, and where he had to go away for about a month or two in order to get some treatment. And he was able to come back. And this being his, I think it was his second show back or whatever the case is, because he was doing the Road 2 shows. And ELP was able to get the win here, and he is now the New Japan World Television title holder. We then had the specialty lumberjack career match. It was Hiroshi Tanahashi, the president of New Japan Pro Wrestling, going up against Evil in a match where Hiroshi Tanahashi was able to defeat Evil. Post match, after Tanahashi defeated Evil, the House of Torture members tried to come in and gang up and beat up on Hiroshi Tanahashi, and they were then scared away by the presence of the returning Katsuyori Shibata, man. Katsuyori Shibata, the wrestler, aka one of the new Three Musketeers that were labeled that during the early to mid 2000s era of New Japan Pro Wrestling. That trio, the new Three Musketeers, are comprised of Shibata, Tanahashi, and the one and only Shinsuke Nakamura. Shibata made it a deal to say something post Dynasty, so I'll talk about that at the Dynasty. AEW International Title, never openweight title match. We had the one-on-one match that we had all been looking forward to, us as New Japan fans. It was the AEW International Champion Konosuke Takeshita going one-on-one against the never openweight champion Shingo Takagi. In this case, this was a hell of a match. It's what we expected. We got a banger, and Konosuke Takeshita, the champion of AEW's international title, was able to get the never openweight title from Shingo Takagi in a title change in a terrific match. Konosuke Takeshita is one hell of a wrestler. So is Shingo Takagi. So if you want to go out of your way to watch a banger of a match in the ring with two heavy hitters, that's a match to watch there. The IWGP Junior Heavyweight title match. Sad state of affairs with this match. El Desperado won the match by referee's decision due to the fact that Doki got injured during the match after a high spot in the match, and he I believe he separated his elbow by trying to brace his fall during a spot onto the outside, and the referee had to call the match right then and there because his elbow was out of place. The camera quickly caught the elbow injury, but then panned away. And El Desperado was surely disappointed, and by the way that he had to win the match, because I would have figured that Doki and Despy would have had a terrific match, be it not for the injury. Then we had the IWGP Global Heavyweight Title match, which was a hell of a match itself as well. It was the champion David Finlay along with Bloody Hands Gato going one-on-one against Yota Tsuji. Big Suge, part of the new generation in New Japan Pro Wrestling, gets the win here, title change over David Finlay in what I can only say in for all it was worth was the match of the night for me here at Wrestle Kingdom. We then had Tetsuya Naito and Hiromu Takahashi, members of Los Cinco Bananas Japón, go one-on-one in a special singles match. Tetsuya Naito defeated Hiromu Takahashi in that match, where the teacher still was able to outdo the student. And then in the IWGP World Heavyweight Title match, we had Zack Sabre Jr., who was flanked by his other members of TMDK, go one-on-one against Shota Umino in a match that lasted about 45 minutes. A lot of people online were not fans of this match. Folks, I will honestly tell you that when this match started, it was already 6 here in the East Coast. It was about 6:35 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I could not keep my eyes open. And if you're saying something, Dolores, you're on mute.
I was fighting for my life. Okay, I was fighting like I'm fighting the mute button. I was fighting for my life. Okay,
Yeah, it was. I
mind
was.
you, mind you, ladies and gentlemen, when we get to the next show, I was fighting for my life in the morning. but I
Yes.
wasn't fighting at night. Okay, I was up and ready and primed and ready to go. Now, when it got, I must admit, when it got to the last match of the next show, I was like, "Why are we here? Why are we here?"
But to so that I could so to make a point about the IWGP World Heavyweight Title match, I thought it was I wouldn't be able to tell you honestly if I'm being honest with y'all, if the match was good or if it was bad. I was
It was decent. It was serviceable,
I
but again,
wouldn't
they
be
have
able
to
to.
learn to realize that not always does the last match have to be the main title match.
No, that's their tradition. I feel and I'm okay with that. But I feel like maybe the length of the match could have probably have been cut shorter and things of that nature. I was very in and out of it because I was falling asleep by that juncture. By the end of it, when I saw that ZSJ had won the match, obviously the right man had won the match, but I did see a lot of the commentary online be a little bit divisive about this match. A lot of people thought that it was a great match for Shota Umino to have against Zack Sabre Jr. Other people thought it was too long, and a lot of other people also mentioned that the match was bad. So I didn't know who to believe. And
It was more like it wasn't great, it wasn't horrible, it was just serviceable. And the only reason why I say the placement on the card was is because there were other matches that I would rather the Shingo you could have just replaced it at because at that point it was like you know how you go off that high and you nose dive down? That's what it was. And nobody really cared to be there when you are on this high and you got this technical match happening. And I noticed that happened again yesterday, well, this morning, yesterday, whatever. That I was on a high after seeing my God, Kenny Omega. And then we was like, oh, technical Ricochet and Zack Sabre Jr. I was like, Lord, when is this match is gonna be over? I just want to go to bed. At that point, I was like, maybe we need to not always stick with tradition and maybe put the best match for last. Because the I noticed this is the second day that Zack Sabre Jr. is in a predicament where we're coming off highs of matches before, and then this is the low time, and that's where we stick him in.
no,
Matches
because
are not bad. It's just that the placement of where they are doesn't suit him well because it's like we've had a good time. We've been partying this whole time. Whereas sometimes if you get a match that's a banger at the end, it's more like, even if I'm tired, this is so great, I gotta stay up to watch it. That is like, okay, I'm already going down and this is just not. It's like me going, I'm tired, and then all of a sudden I hear soothing music and then I'm ready to go to bed. That's what it seems like.
fair enough. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to go back and watch the Wrestle Kingdom main event match so I could have a better feel for myself. But it just seemed like something that was very divided online and
Yeah,
things of that
because
nature.
I
So
mean, if you were excited about the show, like I was excited, when you get to the end and that's what it is, you're like, this is trash. But when I went back and looked at it today, because you know I always try to before I spend most of my day setting up all these things and rewatching all the shows over again to get a sense of what I like and don't like, and if certain shows I already know. I'm like TNA. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna skip that today. Um, I got to watch this again with a clear, fresh, non-sleepy eyes, and they told me that okay, you know, this was serviceable. It's not like I was like gonna be like, oh, this is a banger. Shota Umino, it was a good match for him because you know lately he hasn't been having the most knockout the park matches, but this one was good. But I wouldn't say it was great. I wouldn't say it was horrible. I just think that it was a lot of people who say it was horrible were caught up in the moment of being peed off that this is how the show was ending. I'm tired. We're having this like whole technical match thing that's not really working out for us. That's what it is. Prisoner of the moment, I would say, if you had asked me right afterwards, I would be like, that was trash. But after rewatching it, I think it was a good match, an overall good match. I just wouldn't placed it where it was. But some people, if once you've been up that long, nothing is going to be happy about it. Nobody's going to be happy about anything, especially if it's not some kind of world banger at the end. So I think just some people just caught up in the moment. I hate that because it was a good show and that was a good match. It's just that some they need to edit and twerk some of the things. We've talked about it before on a lot of shows. Multi-man matches, they're fun, but do we need like 20, 30 minutes of a multi-man match? Do we need 10, 15 minutes of do we even need a multi-man match sometimes? Do we need multiple multi-man matches sometimes? Like sometimes I'm more excited about the road to shows and some of the matches that I get to see than an actual pay-per-view because I gotta go through 9 hours to get to something that I'm either happy how it ended or I'm sleepy and tired and I'm angry because I'm like, this is what we gonna end with, this is what we gonna do. That's the thing about it. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna go on to something that we watched last night from New Japan, AEW, CMLL, and and New Japan Pro Wrestling had Wrestle Dynasty, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, we had the pre-show International Women's Cup Final Four Way. I thought this was supposed to be on the main show, but then it was on the pre-show, so I didn't actually get to catch the match. So there's that part of it. But Bobo Watanabe, with her fellow Hate member, team member Thekla in her corner, defeated Athena, Persephone, and Willow Nightingale in what seemed to have been a good four-way match from the response that I was able to read and garner online.
Yeah,
Uh,
I really liked it, and I actually sort of kind of like Willow in this. Like, I don't know. I mean, her character doesn't. I'm not saying her wrestling is ever bad. Her wrestling is good, but I like that whole like her. She was more hard hitting. It wasn't like the whole like. She reminds me of a black Kaylee Ray, and that irritates me. Kaylee Ray used to irritate me, but in this match, she was more like because they were doing some tricks and different things that maybe you need to be more focused on. So she wasn't all that like super like oh bubbly happy all the time, and so I can appreciate that.
cool. Pre-show ROH tag team title match. We had the Sons of Texas, Dustin Rhodes and Sammy Guevara, the champions, defeat the House of Torture members, Sho and Yoshinobu Kanemaru. Just for a tidbit of information, it was the first time in almost 32 years that Dustin Rhodes had been back in Japan at the Tokyo Dome. The reason as to why I even remember that was because even back in the early 90s when I was watching wrestling, I remember him going to Japan and making his trip to Japan. And one of the matches I was first privy to of American wrestlers wrestling in Japan was when he tagged with his dad, the legend Dusty Rhodes, when they were over in Japan for a bit and whatnot. And yeah, man, it was cool to see Dustin back in Japan for the first time in such a long time. Cool moment for Sammy Guevara to get some time in the Tokyo Dome as well, with his wife getting some time in the Tokyo Dome the night before. So it was a good time for a lot of the talent over in Japan. We then had the official first match of the night at Wrestle Dynasty. It was the Lucha Gauntlet match, which saw the junior legend Taiji Ishimori of the Bullet Club defeat El Desperado, Hechicero, Jose Fujita Máscara Dorada, Master Wato Soberano Jr., and El Titan. This particular match was exactly what it was. It was lucha fun, a lot of cool lucha spots, and things of that nature. The majority of the talent in this match, once El Desperado made his entrance after winning the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship the night before, and he made his entrance during this match, everyone else in the match decided to gang up on him and not even let him get to the ring because they all wanted a shot at El Desperado. So more than likely, we will be seeing a future match between Taiji Ishimori and El Desperado for that IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. But nobody in this match looked bad. So shouts to everybody who was involved in the match. In a 5-minute exhibition match, we had the 2 out of the 3 members of the new Three Musketeers, Hiroshi Tanahashi, the president, versus one of his best friends in the world, Katsuyori Shibata, in a 5-minute time limit draw. They basically tried to figure each other out for the first minute and a half and whatnot, and then it just became a full-on chop and strike battle between the two of them. And post-match, in the back, Shibata was interviewed, and he made it a thing to say that he wanted to come back to New Japan in 2025 to tag with Tanahashi one more time, to have matches with other talents in New Japan in 2025. And if Tanahashi is able to get any sort of sway or pull, or if he's able to persuade the WWE in any sense, Katsuyori Shibata feels that it would be the right thing for the third member of the new Three Musketeers, Shinsuke Nakamura, to have a match or at least tag with Tanahashi in 2025 as Tanahashi is closing out his career. So those were some very poignant comments that Shibata made in reference to the end of Tanahashi's career. And I, for one, am with Shibata on this, man. I think that if Tana can make it happen and he can actually have some sort of a relationship with the WWE, where if it's just going to be Shinsuke, then let it just be Shinsuke for the happenstance of Tanahashi's final run in New Japan. I think it would be a classy move on WWE's part to get that done. I know they don't owe New Japan anything, but I think from a traditional wrestling sensibility standpoint, it would be a cool thing to see. So I wanted to say that. We then had the NJPW Strong Women's title that was up for grabs in the title for title match, along with the Rep Pro Undisputed British Women's title. It was Mercedes Moné going one-on-one versus Mina Shirakawa. Mercedes Moné won the match in a very, very good match between Mina and Mercedes Moné. Got to give Moné more props for having these excellent matches in recent months and weeks. So there's that. Shouts to Mina for doing the damn thing, man, and showing out that she's just more than a pretty face with a lot of rhythm. So shouts to Mina for putting on a hell of a match against Mercedes. A standout match of the night, to say the least. We then had the matches that came after. We had David Finlay go one-on-one in a special singles match versus Big Bad Brody King. I wanted Brody King to beat David Finlay just because I don't feel like David Finlay belongs in the same ring as Brody King. And that's just me hating on David Finlay, the character, not necessarily the wrestler himself. David Finlay puts on banger matches. I've never taken that away from him. He put on a tremendous match against Yota Tsuji. He put on a tremendous match here against Brody King. His in-ring ability is not to be disparaged at all. But yet again, I said this earlier in the show, I compare him a lot to Solo Sikoa. The characters, to me, in my personal opinion, of Solo Sikoa and David Finlay being the quote-unquote leader of the Bullet Club and the Bullet Club War Dogs, to say the least, it just doesn't work for me. It's not believable. There's no high percentage of verisimilitude, to use a big word, when it comes to David Finlay. But I'll never take anything away from his in-ring ability and being able to put on good matches against any competitor in the ring. And he did that against Brody King here. Shota Umino put on a good match against Claudio Castagnoli. So I want to give Shooter props for that. He defeated Claudio Castagnoli, but it seems like Shota Umino's time to deal with the Death Riders is not over. This particular feud is going to continue into probably whatever boils down to the Forbidden Door pay-per-view maybe this year in 2025. We then had the never open weight title and AEW international titles being up for grabs as Konosuke Takeshita, the champion, went one-on-one against Tomohiro Ishii in a banger of a match, man. Takeshi doesn't know how to have bad matches, and Tomohiro Ishii, um, that who just turned 50 years old, does not know what time is, and he put on a hell of a match with Konosuke Takeshita. There were so many moments during the match where I thought Ishii had it in the bag, and then Takeshita just came back and did the damn thing, man. Props to Takeshita. Wanted to point this out about Takeshita as well. Takeshita, I think it was after Wrestle Kingdom, not Dynasty, made the comment in his backstage comments that he signed a 1-year contract with New Japan Pro Wrestling proper. So Takeshita will be on many different New Japan shows coming into 2025. Takeshita is the only wrestler that I am aware of that has 3 separate talent deals with 3 separate wrestling promotions. Takeshita has a contract with AEW. He has a contract with New Japan now, and he also has a contract with his mother promotion, which is DDT, that is also based in Japan. So shouts for Takeshita for doing all that and being willing to take on all that travel and just give us the banger matches and entertainment that he does. We then had the IWGP Tag Team Title 3-way match. The titles were vacant at this point due to the fact that the previous champions had to relinquish the titles due to an injury to one of the champions. I believe it was Hanare. Hanare got injured during the tag league. So we had the Young Bucks of Matthew and Nicholas Jackson defeat Los Ingobernables and Japón, Hiromu Takahashi and Tetsuya Naito against the United Empires, Great O'Khan and Jeff Cobb. This was more of this match was way more entertaining than I thought it was going to be. But the Young Bucks proved out that they're still one of the best tag teams in the business. Putting this match together, didn't get a lot of different interactions with the members of LIJ, but we got a lot of interactions between the Young Bucks and the members of the United Empire. But the Young Bucks were able to piecemeal this match together and do a decent enough job where I thought that the match was decent and entertaining. The IWGP Global Heavyweight Title match, Yota Tsuji put on another good match here against a wrestler who seems to be hated across the board by most people, not by me. I'm a fan of Jack Perry. I think Jack Perry has a bright future in professional wrestling. The Scapegoat did his job here, had a bunch of different hard-hitting spots with Tsuji, but Tsuji was able to walk away and retain his championship against Jack Perry. And then the last 2 matches of the night did something for me that I thought I wouldn't get this feeling again in pro wrestling. We had a special singles match between the returning Kenny Omega and Gabe Kidd. Gabe Kidd was flanked by his War Dog members, Clark Connors and Drilla Maloney. Gabe Kidd, who has he has this inordinate amount of passion for New Japan and Japanese wrestling. And in this match, it turned out to be that Gabe Kidd was the face, aka the good guy in this match against a returning Kenny Omega, a Kenny Omega who made his career basically in Japan, out of New Japan. And this match, be it Kenny's first match back after bunch of different major surgeries and his battle with diverticulitis and things of that nature, Kenny Omega didn't miss a step, and Gabe Kidd did not slack. He kept up his end of the bargain, and in this match, we got all the passion and strong style and just fervor that we needed out of a match. This match was New Japan at its finest, was Kenny Omega versus Gabe Kidd. And for that match to have the president of New Japan Pro Wrestling, Hiroshi Tanahashi, get so emotional at at ringside while he was doing commentary that he shed some tears, um, which was the opposite of the reaction he had at the end of the main event of Wrestle Kingdom. Is to say a lot. So we shall see as to what comes of any other appearances that Kenny Omega wants to make at New Japan Pro Wrestling. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, talking to Tokyo Sports, Kenny Omega um, stated that he wants some of the former New Japan talents that currently signed to AEW to come back to New Japan Pro Wrestling, just for the sake of giving back and helping the new generation of New Japan wrestlers um, move forward and move upward and make them wrestlers and talents that the New Japan fan base can get behind. We then had the main event of the night, the IWGP World Heavyweight Title match, which had Zack Sabre Jr. being flanked by his other members of TMDK go one-on-one against Ricochet. I, for one, was a fan of this match. I really liked how Ricochet played into his new heel character, and how he was able to use his power game in order to be a better defensive wrestler against Zack Sabre Jr. Um, in this match, Zack Sabre Jr. wasn't able to tie uh, Ricochet up like a pretzel as much as he would other wrestlers and stuff like that. And this match definitely seemed to have come off better reaction wise online with fans. So this match wasn't necessarily divisive at all. People really liked this match. I really like this match, and I really do like the trajectory for Ricochet and his newfound character are going. So shouts to Ricochet for doing the work and definitely putting his all into what has been, a road less traveled for some folks, and I want to commend Ricochet for that. And ZSJ is looking like ZSJ is looking, man. He is definitely at the top of the New Japan mountain, and I hope bigger and better things for ZSJ as he walks into Battle of the Valley event for New Japan Strong, going up against Echicero in about a week's time. But it was definitely a good match, and I would definitely recommend folks to go out and watch it, because the fans were into it even after the high that they got from Gabe Kidd and Kenny Omega, and they didn't falter. So I thought that they would, but honestly, they didn't, and that was the good part about Dynasty. So I just wanted to say that about the main event match. You're muted again, Dolores. Dolores, you're muted.
Me and this mute button, because when I lock it for some apparent reason, it locks on my computer. Um, so I like to just pay per view overall. I was in the True Hill Heat chat. Shout out to True Hill Heat. They also had the same feeling I did. Why was Ricochet and Zack Sabre Jr. last? We don't like it. I understand it's tradition. But after I had this amazing emotional match just happen that I was hooked from beginning to end. I was like, ain't nothing Zack Sabre Jr. Even though I loved the match, it's nothing that they could have done to top that. Nothing. And I was like left with this sense of like in the moment again, I rewatched it again, but in the moment it was more like almost like you know how you have to go to school just because your mama sent you. Like that's how I felt like. I'm here so I won't get fined. Okay, yeah, okay. Yeah, when is this gonna be over with? Oh, that was a great move. Oh yeah, okay, right. And then instead of being that excitement and the hooked on feeling I had the match before where I was tired when it came to Kenny Omega. I was tired when I got to so it's not about being just tired. It was like I was tired, period. I had been up. This is a 24-hour period of me just fighting for my life. Okay? So Kenny Omega comes out. I'm like literally slumped on my computer like this, looking at my TV over the counter. And I'm like, okay, this is gonna be a good match. But do I really care? So first thing the bell comes on, it starts, and I'm go from like slumped over to like, hey, to I'm sitting up, to I'm like yelling at the screen, to I'm like gasping because I'm thinking Kenny is gonna hurt himself again. And I'm gonna have to wait another 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 months again. To like I'm like flabbergasted and amazed. I think when we got to the next match, we were hoping for that same type of feeling. And we definitely weren't gonna get there. I thought maybe they were gonna have some. Ricochet has been known to be, and I'm gonna go back to an old word that some of you I might know, stunt queen. He was used. He has been known to be a stunt queen. Zack Sabre Jr. is down to be a stunt queen. Okay, and I thought them two together, at least I would have had some stunt queen activity. But the more it got technical, the more I was like, I'm really not gonna get anything too much out of this. It's like they were battling each other in this technical match where it almost kind of felt like we're gonna put all our oldies and greaties and our best hits, and we're gonna give it all I got. But we just saw what happened before, and we ain't gonna top that. So we just gonna do what we could do. And I'm like, I know you all have it in you to do 10 times more than this, but I accept that you all are technical records and this is what you do. But I wish it had been opposite, where I would have been like, oh, okay, this is a great technical wrestling match, and it ended where we have Tanahashi in tears. Like, that would have been like the cherry on top. It's kind of like where you heard most people talk about, what is it? Was it Wrestle Dream? No, it wasn't Wrestle Dream. World's End, where Kenny Omega comes out. There's like this face off. And then they're like, next match, and we was like, oh my God, why couldn't we just end this right here? Why couldn't this be the cherry on top? It seems like this has been a thing with Kenny Omega. He comes out, does some wild, amazing, great stuff, and we all end and be like, why couldn't it just end right now? And I feel bad for Ricochet and Zack Sabre Jr. because they had to come on after that. They had to give them their best. It was a good match. It was good. Not, and I wouldn't say good like average. I mean, good is above average. Not great. I'm not gonna say it's great. The match before was great. This is just above average. And so that's what makes me upset because I know I love Zack Sabre Jr. If anybody know me, I am a ZSJ fan. I will go to the ends of the earth for him. I love Ricochet. Go to the ends of the earth for him. But at a certain point, I'm like, they did you dirty. You got the scraps. And I literally, on True Hill Heat, if you go back and watch that channel, Steve was half asleep before the Kenny Omega match. He was up screaming and talking to the screen. He went to sleep right after. As they started the Zack Sabre Jr. match, Romeo had to take him out. Listen, at a certain point, I need them to, even WWE, even I need you all to start pacing better your matches. You know you're going to give us this fantastic match, and then only because he is the title holder do we get the last match, which is good. But if you had swapped it around, I would have went home happy. I would have been ecstatic. I just don't understand it. WWE does it, AEW does it, New Japan does it. I'm not gonna say GCW does it because GCW they'll have a crappy match, a great match, a here there, a match, whatever. Even with Progress, their pace where it's like Oh, that was okay. Oh, I really like that. Oh, that was good. To like the ending matches, like, oh my God, that was so great. I want those types of pacings because I want to know my bathroom match is towards the beginning, not, I look up and I'm like, oh, well, I can wait about, I can miss the first part of this match or I can come back and watch it a little later. That's not what I want. But I did think that this was the best pay per view I have seen cohesively at the start of the year. Now, as you all heard, I like my good brother Jay News. I watch a little bit too much wrestling. Okay. And so I thought Progress from last week towards the end of the year was killing it. And they were going to just come in and wreck shop. But these two pay per views have been great. As far as I like the women's matches, I like the overall, like the funny stuff was funny, but not too much. And you had banger matches on a pay per view, and it wasn't just like I could say one match was good out of a pay per view. I like when I say there are multiple matches out of it because when you recommend it to non wrestling fans, you have options. I can't just tell somebody to spend $10 on the app just to watch one wrestling match. I want to be able to tell them you will get your money's worth out of it. And I think this is definitely it. And for those who don't know, New Japan is on the New Japan World app. $10 a month. You can watch these bangers. Okay? So ladies and gentlemen, me and Jay News, we're gonna do something differently. We're gonna go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Okay? Because we're gonna go in chronological order of what's gonna be happening next week and we're gonna preview it. Okay? So here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, preview time. I'm gonna start it out first. Ladies first, ladies first. Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna do WWE. And you know what's gonna happen tomorrow? It's not gonna be the regular Raw. It's gonna be Raw on Netflix, and your girl Delores is doing a watch along. So make sure you come join me at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will be here on the Clock app, which is TikTok. Shh, don't tell nobody. YouTube, Twitch, everywhere. I will be everywhere. Sad to say, my good brother Jay News won't be with me, but he'll be with me in spirit. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, on Raw, we're going to have, there's only a few matches, and that's why we didn't make an actual banner for it. But we have Chad Gable, not Chad Gable, sorry. Thinking about last week. I know the thing about Netflix is, ladies and gentlemen, it's access for people who, if you're wrestling people, to have somebody that you don't know get into it. That everybody pretty much has Netflix, whether it's the free account, not the free account, but the ads account, the non-ads account. It's the ability for you all to see something that you might not have been see if you cut the cord with cable. Ladies and gentlemen, it'll be 1650 Raw, Drew McIntyre versus Jey Uso. For the WWE Women's World Title Last Woman Standing match, we'll have Liv Morgan, the champion, versus Rhea Ripley. We'll have Tribal Combat match, Roman Reigns versus Solo Sikoa. And last but not least, the fire match I can't wait for. It'll be CM Punk versus Seth Rollins. Ladies and gentlemen, yes, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Netflix and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. For wherever you're watching me at now, that's where I will be tomorrow. We also will be playing some games because, for those who don't like wrestling or don't have Netflix, you can come in and play out some games and have a good time and meet some new people. Okay? So, now we're on to J News.
Yeah, no, there's going to be a New Year's Dash event from New Japan Pro Wrestling going on tomorrow on January 6th. New Year's Dash happens on a yearly basis. New Year's Dash is basically an impromptu show. They booked the show as the show goes along and as it starts. So as for right now, there is no card that is pre-booked for New Year's Dash. You just have to tune in and watch to see as to what they put on New Year's Dash. But that is tomorrow.
Yeah, they have one match and it's weird. They have they have Josh Barnett facing Oleg Boltin.
Right. So for folks who've never watched New Japan New Year's Dash before, the New Year's Dash matches usually the New Year's Dash event usually puts people together in these matches that you've never either never seen before or don't usually tag together and things of that nature. So it's one of those.
I wanted
Um,
Josh Barnett to face somebody else, and this wasn't it. But I was like, okay. I knew he had mentioned he was gonna be there to do this, but I was like, once I saw it say Ole Bolton, I was like, that's all right, sir. You ain't gotta worry about me. Ladies and gentlemen, it's me. It's me. It's Wrestling Revolver. Ladies and gentlemen, Wrestling Revolver has Vibe Check, which will be on the 9th. It will be on Triller TV, if I remember right. Um, there are nothing listed so far on the card, not one match, which is shocking. So I can't wait. Wrestling Revolver puts on great shows. Also, Triller TV is the home of GCW, Wrestling Revolver, HOG, a mini plethora of wrestling shows and some other sports stuff. So if you want to check them out, they're $9.99 a month. Is Triller TV. Ladies and gentlemen, it's me again. And I got another show. It's from my favorite friends over at GCW. And this time it's called Sorry Pal. Okay? Look at them, them eyes are scary. Ladies and gentlemen, we have on Sorry Pal. Synclope versus Drew Parker. Effie versus Atticus Cougar. Rhino versus Brusky Jimmy. Sydney Akeem versus Marcus Mathers. Janelasis, which is Joey Janela and Megan Bain versus the Spectorial Envoy, which is Frightmare and Ultraman is Black. They really put some names together and they be fight for their life. High Seas, which you all should know what it is. Cloudy and Nick Ando versus the Garbage Daddies of Alex Price and Cole Radrick. For the GCW title, Masha Slamovich versus Zeta Steele. GCW Tag Team title match, Violence is Forever, which is Dominic Gennari and Kevin Koo versus To Infinity and Beyond, which is Cheech and Colin Delaney. And last but not least, for the GCW World title match, Mance Warner versus Super Crazy. Ladies and gentlemen, GCW, like I said, will be on Triller TV on the 10th. Now we're going to go to me again. I feel so special. We have MLW. Ladies and gentlemen, it ain't me. That's how they put it. King of Coliseum is the show 2025. Kings of Coliseum is on the 11th. We have Kenta versus Donovan Dijak. Sorry, I was thinking of his other name. Atlantis and Atlantis Jr. versus Blue Panther and Dark Panther. Gravity Gamble match is Matthew Justice versus uh, Kruger, Brian Ryan, Glosselin. Listen, they picked the names that they know walk the line of them not getting sued or copyright. Kira and Kevin Knight. For the MLW Women's World Featherweight title versus hair match. I think one of you all already got half of your hair missing, so I'm not even gonna complain. Janai Kai, the champion, versus Dalmi Exo. And for the MLW World Heavyweight title match, Kojima, the champion, versus Matt Riddle. Now we're on to my good brother, and these are the matches that's here. Uh, for New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Yeah, we have the Battle in the Valley show, which is taking place next Saturday here in the U.S., the New Japan Strong show. We have Fred Rosser and Matt Vandegrift going up against TMDK members That Bad Dude, Tito, and Shane Haste. We then have a match that has Hiromu Takahashi, Mayu Iwatani, and Yuka Sakazaki going up against House of Torture members Evil and Show. along with Sumi Sakai in what seems to be her last and final match of her career. I thought this was very, very odd. If I'm being completely honest with you, for Sumi Sakai to be having her final match with members of House of Torture. If she does have a valid relationship with either Evil or Show, by all means, cool. But I don't know. I don't know the relationship or the tie there between those House of Torture members and Sumi Sakai. In a non-title match, we have Zack Sabre Jr. going up against Hechicero, so that should be a banger of a match with all the super technical wrestling that'll be involved in that. The NJPW Strong Openweight Tag Team title match has the current champions, the West Coast Wrecking Crew of Jorel Nelson and Royce Isaacs, go up against Roppongi Revice of Rocky Romero and Yo. And then we'll have the NJPW Strong Openweight title match, which has the champion Gabe Kidd coming off of his match with Kenny Omega, going one-on-one against Tomohiro Ishii. And that should be another great match to see on New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Ladies and gentlemen, guess what? It's back to me. Because it's GCW, Game Changer Wrestling, here for the 99 to the 2000. And it's Thank Me Later on the 11th. Okay? Y'all gonna thank me later when y'all come and see this show, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, Isaiah Broner versus One Call Manners. We had a GCW Tag Team title match. Violence is Forever. Dominic Gennari and Kevin Koo versus Effie and the man he been trying to take out for weeks and months, Mass Warner. To infinity and beyond. Cheech and Conan Delaney versus Garbage Daddies of Alex Price and Cole Radrick. We have Gringo Loco and Super Crazy versus the rejects of John Wayne Murdoch and Reed Bentley. Listen, I like to say his name like that because they are two very country wrestlers. So I like to say John Wayne Murdoch and Reed Bentley. Listen, Alley Catch versus Zeta Steel. Rhino versus Janella. Zachary Rentz versus Myron Reed, ladies and gentlemen. And we coming to the end of this part of the show. But we got another part, ladies and gentlemen. We done updated a little bit. We got a little bit of the spotlight, ladies and gentlemen. And me and Jay News, we're going to pop up for the spotlight. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to give the spotlight. That's when we give once a week our roses, our spotlight to a wrestler who is becoming of it for the week, okay? And I picked it, but I think Jay News would agree with today's spotlight. And our spotlight for the week, well, rather mine, I think Jay News agrees, will be, by God, Kenny Omega. Ladies and gentlemen, Kenny Omega came back and he killed it, ladies and gentlemen. I want to, let me pull us back up, tell you the reason why I picked Kenny Omega. He has had a great match, ladies and gentlemen, his first match back. As somebody who has had similar issues, and I have had stomach surgeries, even recently, I don't want to run. I don't want to jump. I don't want to do nothing. And to see him up here doing all these things and being very dynamic, great storytelling, great match, just very athletic, it's like, oh my God, anybody can do anything if Kenny Omega can do it. Being gone about 13 months, it was hard to see when he was going to come back, and he was dealing with a lot of things, not only the diverticulitis, but if most people know, he said he's had vertigo and some other issues. Also, as somebody who's dealt with vertigo in the past, I don't know how you wrestle, sir. I can barely move from point A to point B. There have been times I've been sitting here and been like, "Hey, J News, I need to take that over. I can't do that." So I have great immense pride. I enjoyed the match. I also enjoyed him opening up about his over the time, his journey to get back, even by the little interviews he did here and there, letting people know, he's tough. No, don't think he's a softie out here. He's out here working it and doing it. And so I give all the props to Kenny Omega because listen, he helped fund the company. He is pushing and promoting New Japan left and right. He gave us a banger match and he put his body on the line. Coming back after 13 months, he didn't have to do that. And so I really appreciate it. Jay News, what do you feel about Kenny Omega?
Um, my feelings on Kenny Omega. I was put on to Kenny Omega during his New Japan run. I did not watch Kenny Omega wrestle on the U.S. Indies. I actually got to no, not his New Japan run, his DDT run. Sorry, um, to see him back after 12, 13 months of being off, having to recover from multiple surgeries, not only just the surgery to take out 2 feet of his small intestines for this diverticulitis, but other knee surgeries and I believe a surgery for a hernia and some other stuff or whatever cases like Dolores said, even the vertigo stuff or whatever. Kenny Omega is one of those guys that when you watch him, you know something cool is about to go down. You know that from a wrestling perspective, you're about to go on this roller coaster ride in the best way possible. And to see him back and to see him deliver the kind of match that he delivered against Gabe Kidd. I remember saying this on True Hill Heat weeks ago. 80% of Kenny Omega is better than 100% of a lot of different wrestlers. And we got 100% of Kenny Omega going into that match with Gabe Kidd yesterday, and it was tremendous, man. Shouts to Kenny Omega, man, Spotlight Wrestler of the Week. And thankfully he seems to be healthy. He looked like he was in incredible shape physically when he got to the ring. So shouts to him for that, man. And thank you to Kenny Omega for making us 40-year-olds look like we belong in a wrestling ring. So yeah, that's what I gotta say about Kenny, man. He's definitely one that people should always want to go out of their way to watch his matches because by majority they're always great. So yeah, just wanted to say that about Kenny.
Yeah, and I appreciate it. I think from my standpoint of me appreciating him is being in the situation. Listen, Kenny, by the grace of God, knock on wood, I caught my problem before it got worse to where you had to remove your intestines. But there's a point after surgery where you're not allowed to eat. You can't move too much. It's like you don't see the other side until you get there. And so for him to be vigilant and not only did he have to have that done, but to do, other things and all of those things, that's a lot, especially when you're sitting and you're used to moving about and doing what you want to do. That's a lot. And that's a lot of commitment mentally and physically. So he came out there and gave it us out. Listen, when he got hit in the stomach, I was like, hey, you taking it too far. Don't hit him like that. I was screaming to this girl like I was like, oh no, don't hit him like that. Please don't do that. Because when he started grabbing his stomach and then he started grabbing his side and his hip, I was like, listen, sir, I want you to give me your all. But I do want to see you over the next couple of months. I don't want to have to do this Daniel Bryan thing where I see you're injured. Then I'll have to wait and then wait, see you a couple of months and then you're injured. I don't want to keep doing that. So, and I know he's hinted that if he maybe got injured or injury happened again, he would quit. And I don't want to see that because I think his best years are ahead of him and not behind him. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, with that, that is put us back in the back. The end. Also, ladies and gentlemen, I want to let you know that man, that's what that match did to that man. He started off okay, and then he was shambles at the end. He was toe up from the floor, crying snot nosed. That grown man, as I say, he's not only the president, he is the client. Okay? If Kenny Omega can do that man like that, listen, I almost came there. But I thought they panned to him and he was crying, J News. I said, you know what? He ain't gonna catch me like this. Suck it up. Get that hood in you. So, ladies and gentlemen, now it's the end. Let's get back to the studio. Wow, there we go. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the part of the show where me and J News we do some self promotion. Okay, it's time for me to go in the back. Bam! There you go, ladies and gentlemen. And then you get to see the good brother J News talk about his wonderful channel and his wonderful things he's doing, ladies and gentlemen. If you need to get movie advice, go check out J News Letterbox. He's about to start his channel back up. If you need some health advice, you need some good workout tips, some good maybe eating plans you might want to get on, suggestions, make sure you check out J News. All right, take it away, J News.
Appreciate you, Dolores. That's the QR code there on the screen next to me. So you can check out all my different links there. Like Dolores said, I do movie reviews and things of that nature. So you can check out my letterbox. I have old, just podcast based, audio only based reviews on my YouTube channel as well. If you wanted to go back and check those out, they're on my YouTube channel. They're also on wherever you hear and listen to your favorite podcasts. So there's that for it as well. If you need any sort of fitness advice in regards to workout programs, nutritional advice, and things of that nature, that is my profession outside of what I do in sports as well. Your good brother Jay News has lived quite the life, to say the least. So I've been blessed to be good at quite a few different things over my lifespan, and I'm not that old. I'm not that old yet. So I do lend those types of services in regards to fitness and nutrition and just overall day to day habit forming things when it comes to overall health and fitness. So I do have that sort of coaching that sort of coaching background. So you can eat. So once you hit the QR code, my email is at the bottom of my Linktree listing. You can always hit me up via email there, and we can discuss things uh, for for you, by you, basically, because all my health and fitness coaching is per the individual. Nothing's cookie cutter. Nothing is um, outlined, for the general public. Everything is done for the particular person who is in need of those services. And also, you can catch me on a week to week basis on True Heel Heat on the True Heel Heat YouTube channel there, as well as your good brother Jay News covers all things New Japan Pro Wrestling. I do get on there from time to time, and I cover some AEW stuff when needed. And always as well, folks, tune in every Sunday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for me and Dolores doing our Hit the Ropes podcast as we like to review the week that was in pro wrestling.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't go check out J News, listen, that should be your top, top list of things to do this year. Okay. This is a good man who gives you good advice and is out here working and helping the people. The people. Okay. So if you haven't found any New Year's resolutions, if you don't have any, you don't have no goals, your top goal should be go check out J News. Because if not, you're gonna be lost in life. You know that? Because he's a good man, Savannah. He is a good man. Okay? Thank you, J News.
No problem.
Put J News back in his little spot if it let me do. There we go. So J News, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. You all, it's my turn. I said some things last year. Okay. First, do QR code. Thank you, thank you. 20. Okay. Second of all, which is I like to joke around. Second of all, my New Year's resolution was to put myself and my services that I do out there more. For those who do not know, I am Delores, just a pink girl in your pink world here on YouTube. I do a lot of Canva tutorials. We've been doing some funny videos lately, tech tips, different things. But your girl behind the scenes have been managing multiple YouTube channels and different social medias for businesses and different things like that. So I am now coming to you as Delores. Okay. And it is Delores Designs, ladies and gentlemen, because I do the designs for you. Thank you. And if you want to get in touch with me, you can check out my QR code. My email address is right here. I do social media management. That means I do the work for you. I made the graphics. I put them up. I schedule them. I send them out. I set up your lives. I do all the things of the things to make sure you're comfortable. Listen, everybody, you got a busy life. And you can't be up here all day, every day, checking this or that. You can't be seeing what's going on every day. That's why you got your girl Dolores here, okay? Um, just a little sprinkle of something. I know last week we talked about we're gonna change a little bit of the backgrounds of different things, but Sister Kate forgot that we're on episode 16 as of today. I'm gonna give it to about 20 or 30 before we change it because we will be taking the podcast on to major podcast platforms. So you can check us out there. We just want to make sure we get a great amount to initially drop off for you all. So you can have a complete list of listening to us, have good fun, talk good wrestling. Again, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, your girl Dolores will be doing her Raw watch along for Raw's debut on Netflix. And as you all see, if you haven't noticed on all the social media platforms I will be on tomorrow, it is Dolores's Raw reaction live tomorrow. Come play games, come meet new people. Maybe you might get some new subscribers, some new people from whatever platform you're on by meeting people and having a good time here. Again, for those who don't know how watch along works, we individually watch in our own place. I am not allowed to play it. I'm not allowed to show you. That is against the rules. And so we react. You give me your reaction. You tell me what you think. You tell me what you feel. I tell you what I think. I tell you what I feel. And we have a good time together. Okay? So let me get my QR code off and bring J News back. Oh, there you go. There go J News, y'all. Y'all didn't come to see me. Y'all can't see J News. Okay? J News is very bilingual, ladies. Very bilingual. You heard him say all the Spanish and Japanese names. Oh, listen, y'all can't hear J News. I'm just an accessory, okay? But J News, it seems to be going good. We had to go, ladies and gentlemen, we had to go up a little bit on the plan, so we can make sure you can see us because we beautiful, okay? J News handsome, I'm beautiful, okay? Don't hate me, hate that I'm beautiful, okay? So listen, J News. So you gotta tell them, J News, you gotta get a little. You gotta. If you don't tell yourself, who gonna tell you? Ladies and gentlemen,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
ladies and
Yes.
gentlemen, next week because this is our first time setting it up. Not for me, but this is for the podcast. Setting it up. Make sure on the clock out. Make sure you drop them coins down into the chat. So me and J News, because we split the pot, so it gotta be a whole lot of y'all shaking them coins out of the trees. Okay. Also, make sure you double tap, like it, no matter what platform you're on. If it's Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Clock app, whatever. Make sure you like this. Make sure you subscribe. Again, this is J News' QR code. Wonderful J News is below us. And then make sure you check out me. Again, like I said, I'll be doing some gaming. Sometimes Clock app you'll get some games, and sometimes YouTube you'll get some live gaming. For the people who have seen me on the Clock app, you've had a good time because I've been trying new games, J News, and I've been sucking hard. Pause. Badly. One game, J News, I literally got my head taken off 2 seconds after I started playing the game.
What game were you playing?
I don't forget. I played three of them. One of them didn't work, and we had to redo it and try another game. Then I played. I don't forget what's the other one I played, where I literally played the level like 5 times. J News,
Hmm.
and each time, like I had to turn. Listen, this is my thing about it. I am good at maybe. I would say my strong strength is shooting and fighting in games. I mean, that's just me as a regular person. but but driving, FYI, I'm about to drop a little hint on y'all. I never had a physical driver's license. I've always had a learner's my whole entire life. I do not drive well or fly well in games. So generally, now the only time I've ever driven well in a game like GTA is back in the day. J News, you remember when you had the foot pedals and the steering wheel?
You talking to the wrong person. This brother no drive.
The what back in I'm talking about games. Back in the day, they used to have the games with the foot pedals
Oh
and the
yeah, yes,
steering
yes,
wheel.
yes.
That's the only time I can drive well. Okay, if you ask me to pick now, when I say I'm a pink girl in my pink world, you all can see. Okay, I have a pink controller. When I start to clicking buttons, J News, I start to literally running into people, running over people in my on the video game, and it's bad, tearing up cars and everything, J News. So we're working on that. You know, I'm used to playing Assassin's Creed. I'm riding a horse. I'm shooting bows and arrows. I'm fighting people. That's my thing. Okay? I can shoot from long distance. I can do that. It's the driving and flying. Like I'm supposed to run and jump in the airplane and turn corners and stuff. That's the problem. So you all get to experience this with me as I try new games. Listen, I love a good GTA game. I love a it was a game back in the day I was addicted to called BMXXX. I'm gonna try to say what the lady said in the most polite way. She would literally, and I would do it on purpose. She would be on the back of my bike. She was a lady who walked at night. That's what we're gonna call say she did. And she would get on my bicycle and also take her to her next destination. And when I would deliberately fall off the bike and have her fall off too, her response to me is, "You suck harder than I do." And I played that game, J News, 29 times. Now, this is the kicker, J News. Somebody bought it for my brother, and he was very young. He couldn't play it, and that's why I started playing it. But literally, the game, and I don't know if they still make games like this. If you got enough points, real life ladies who dance in club at night would come up and start dancing on your screen. And I'm like, y'all got us to children. What is going on here? And listen, I had a J burn down the building trying to um, have a good time. I had to get a fire department. I had to put out with hose. Listen, J News, this is the type of games I like to play. Okay, when it comes to like normal games, but if you've been on my YouTube, you saw that I did put a full gaming video out. It was me doing laundry in the laundromat. I did that kind of okay, J News. I mean, I know how to fold laundry. I know how to make money. Okay, that's what I do. And again, you can hit me up. I help you make some money. Okay, we can make money. So again, from the wonderful J News and the wonderful Dolores, we appreciate you being here. And we got one thing to say to y'all. It's hot, J News. I'm on fire. And you know what time it is, J News? It's time to cut the lights out. It's time to cut it. Listen, ladies and gentlemen.
I
Until
watched the
we
video the other day.
listen, I got a whole bunch of music stored up in my head sometimes, ladies and gentlemen. I gotta let it out. Okay? I'm a pink girl in my pink world. Little hood. Little hood. Listen, it's been a long time since I did this. It's the first of the year. I got to do it again. ATLANTA, that's where I stay. Zone 6. Ah, there we go. There we go. There we go. Listen, wait till I get the grills. Then we're going to really be really hood. Just wait, Jamie. I'm going to pull it to the side. I'm going to do all of that, okay? And your good brother J News, he's Mr. New York. Mr. New York J News, okay? That's how I expect y'all be walking down the street with your Tim's on.
Yeah. I'm probably the only one of the few New Yorkers you'll ever meet that's never owned a pair of Timbs in his life.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That is blasphemous,
It
right
is
there.
not it is not blasphemous at all. I grew up, and this is and I'll say it because this is for me at the end of the day. This is for me and by myself. I grew up wearing sneakers full front. I never wore boots were so uncomfortable for me to wear, period.
You're supposed to stomp somebody down, J News, with
Because I
some
don't stomp, man. You know, I don't stomp nobody. I use my hands. And if anything, I use my hands, and I grew up watching Japanese wrestling. I use my elbows. Fucking stomp. Come
See,
on, man.
wrestling is good for something. It'll teach you something, J News. It'll teach you something.
Misawa taught me get some momentum behind you and put the point of your elbow in someone's jaw and they'll go down. So no.
Listen, I grew up in a southern home where you don't put your back to the door and you go into any place and you look for 10 things that you could use in case you have to. Okay? And sometimes you can bring your own thing and that you can cut it down to 9. Uh but that's these are the things you learn and you have to, pass it on, get it out there. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you being here. We can't wait to see you next week. And until then, I can't wait to see some of y'all tomorrow, okay? So make sure you there. J News ain't gonna be there, okay? Now, ladies, I know you looking for J News. You know what? But you gotta remember, if you get in good with the sister, maybe you can get in good with the brother. Okay? That's how it go. We're a package deal. Okay? One without the other. Okay? If you don't contact me, you probably can't get through to J News, okay? So be nice to me. You might got a chance, okay? Until then, ladies and gentlemen, we want to tell you peace.